Hi there, and welcome to the 1 year anniversary of A Blessing in Divorce. Yes, this is the 1 year birthday, the 1 year anniversary, the 1 year celebration, the wow, here we are. We've spent a year together, and I am so grateful for all the time that we've had together to talk and hang out and share and just be here through this journey that we're on, whether it is on your divorce or post or just life that has you here listening and joining in. So I am super excited to talk to you today. Today is about tuning into our hearts and soul, and really just asking for everything that we want and deserve out of our lives, regardless of what we're going through right now, because we're not going to let those things stop us. So today is going to be empowering and loving and heart opening as we celebrate this 1 year anniversary. I got to tell you, when I started this a year ago, my first goal was to not be part of the 50% that don't record anything past 8 episodes. I thought, okay, if I can make it past 8, I'm doing well. Well, here I am recording our 52nd episode. And I can't believe it. Like, it is just so exciting to me to be here a full year in and going strong. I can't wait to continue. I have so much I want to share with you. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for downloading my episodes or the episodes of the show 10,000 times. Like, I cannot believe it. So I am so incredibly grateful to all of you. And so because of that, this is a big week. It is literally the actual anniversary of the first episode. Plus, it's my birthday later this week. So we're celebrating with giveaways and discounts and big stuff. So stay tuned to the end, because I got a bunch of stuff I want to share and give to you, my beautiful listeners. I am so grateful, because without all of you and without your listening and your emails telling me what you like and don't like and asking for certain topics, without that, I couldn't do this, because this has to be right for you. Otherwise, there's no point. I am not here just to listen to my own voice, which is what I was really afraid was going to happen. But I have been blessed in that I have listeners, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you. So thank you for that. And let's get into the show. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of A Blessing in Divorce. I am so grateful to be allowed into your headset and day today. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm the host of this podcast and the owner and founder of the Separation Club, which is the club you never wanted to be part of, but the best club to be in if you're going through separation and divorce. Here we talk about how to heal, move forward, and find love if you're so inclined. Also, motherhood through divorce, finding yourself, and creating the life you deserve. Our tools are community, sisterhood, honesty, vulnerability, spirituality, and coaching. And that's when we aren't talking to our experts. I'm also a divorced mother of 4 adult sons, remarried, and a stepmom to 3. So we will be talking about everything that goes with all of that here. If you are recently separated, thinking of separating, divorcing, or even beyond your divorce, but still feeling it, then this is the podcast for you. Welcome back. And today I want to talk to you about the joyful divorce, the other divorce, the alternative divorce, if you will. It felt like a fitting topic because a year ago, the very first episode of this show was about healing with self-care as you navigate your divorce. I even put on the title that it was a new beginning. And we are kind of in a new beginning here just because we're launching into the beginning of our 2nd year together. And I have so much that I have learned in the last year, and so much that I want to bring you still. I have so many episodes planned for you. So I'm excited to get started on this new year, the 2nd year, this new beginning with the joyful divorce or the other divorce. What do I even mean by that? What I mean is, what's joyful about a divorce, right? It's not so much that it's joyful to go through a divorce. It is about allowing your divorce to become a joyful event in that it is the beginning of something new. We tend to be so focused on the ending when we go through this, and all our energy and all our thoughts and all our tears and everything that happens is about what's ending. It is about fighting for that ending. It's about fighting through all the things that have happened. It's about trying to understand them and healing from them for sure. But too little. We focus way too little on the new beginning, because no matter how you slice it, whether you want this or not, there's a new beginning tucked away in the ending. And I want to make it about the beginning, because that's the rest of your life. That's the part that matters. The rest has actually ended. It has happened. It's done. Really, all that's left from what has happened is you healing from it, finding a safe place to put it in your heart, and allowing yourself to move forward. That's the new beginning. That's the joyful divorce, or that is the other way to look at this, the alternative way. So call it what you want. I kind of like the joyful divorce, but maybe it feels easier for you to say the other kind of divorce, or the alternative divorce, or the optional divorce, right? It doesn't have to be miserable. It doesn't have to be high conflict. It doesn't have to be the end of everything. That's what I'm trying to get across to you today. What I have learned in the last year is that while many of you see the value of self-care, most will not really embrace it. Maybe you just don't feel you have the energy for it. And a few of you see the new beginning that I'm talking about, but possibly just as a casual cliche by those of us like me who are well past it. You might want it to be true, but you can't help but wonder, if it's just a case of poor memory. Like, when, for those of you who have children and you're pregnant with your first child, and these old aunts tell you about how, their baby slept through the night when they were 2 hours old, and they were potty trained when they were 7 months old, and they could walk when they were, you hear all these impossible to believe stories, right? And I don't want you to think that this is just another story by someone who can't remember what it was really like. I do remember what it was like. And I actually live with it every day, because I work with you and people, women like you, every single day, who are just completely immersed in the pain of their divorce and the trauma that comes from the things that happened during the marriage and all of that. We all know what I'm talking about. I haven't forgotten. But what I do also remember is that I made a choice to feel better and to experience joy and to really breathe into a new beginning. And that's what I want to share with you today, because I feel it is so appropriate after a year of us hanging out here together that, I've kind of, maybe I'm the old aunt of the divorce, but I can tell you this is possible. And I want to share it with you. It's what I've been doing for the past year, but I find that I'm coming more and more into where exactly I want to show up for you. And it's in a more awakened, conscious, spiritual way. So I hope that you're with me on this journey as well. The name of this divorce is no mistake. A blessing in divorce is kind of how I see that everything played out to be a blessing. The opportunities and the things that have happened since then and because of the divorce truly are a blessing to me. And it's not just because it's been 15 years. I truly felt this way probably within a year or so. It started with smaller things like his incredibly bad behavior, which made it easy for me not to wish my way back together, even though that was what he was saying that he wanted. And then there was the freedom that came with the willingness to admit that I really didn't want the marriage we had anymore. Sometimes that's really hard to say to yourself. It's like, no, I was done there. Like, not that I was done because I was in it, but I didn't want that anymore. I really just didn't. It wasn't good. And I really had no belief that it was going to be any better. So there was freedom in letting go of that hope and not kind of pretending or lying to myself and saying that, this was everything to me and this was everything I ever wanted, because that part of our marriage had ended many years ago. Ever since I started the Separation Club and launched this podcast, which happened about 3.5 years apart from each other, it has been my driving passion to help you as you're going through this huge life transition, change. And I know that in many ways it's traumatic and difficult, and that there's been horrible things that have happened and been said, and there's a lot of healing to be done. And I don't want you to think that I am bypassing that today or ignoring, or that is not part of the healing I'm talking about today. I just firmly believe that we have choices and that we are allowed to say, I choose to be happy now. And that by simply doing that, we are taking a step in the right direction. Does healing happen in that moment? No. But as I go through this episode today and as I talk about choices, I want you to remember that you do always have a choice. Not every choice is easy, and some choices have to be made over and over again for them to stick. But just allow yourself to entertain the possibility that choosing differently could in fact be the beginning of your joyful divorce and a whole new life experience for you and your family, kids, or whoever else you are journeying here with. I'm very deliberate in my use of the word allow, because we do have to allow ourselves happiness, which requires releasing self-blame, releasing negative internal self-talk, and replacing it with an abundance of self-worth, self-compassion, and self-love. You need it and you deserve this. So allow yourself to have this new journey, this more joyful journey. And so as I sit here 4.5 years after starting the Separation Club, and I wonder if I'm doing enough to get this message across in a way that makes a difference. That's the question I've been asking myself. The question's like, how can I help make this a kinder world where two people who used to love each other so much and chose to be a family and chose to have children together are now in a place where they're causing so much trauma to each other. Now, there's nothing we can do about what the other person's doing because they're going to do what they're going to do and we can't control it. So I want to talk to you because you, as my listener, simply by listening to this podcast, you've made a choice to do better for yourself. You made a choice to learn and to grow and heal by tuning into it and tapping into other people's experiences. And I'm really grateful that you've chosen mine as one of the ones to learn from. And I am very happy to share with you. So are you hearing from me now that you can have a different divorce maybe than you thought you could have, an alternative kind of divorce, one that makes you feel grateful for a second chance at life and the freedom to start again and to be at peace. I know that's a huge thing for so many of my clients, to feel a peace in their life, to get rid of all the conflict. And that way you can get to know yourself and who you really are in a way that feels nurturing and creates more curiosity about life, spirituality, connection, faith, and belief in yourself, and so much more. I've spent so much time reflecting on this episode and what to talk to you about today, and also, of course, how to celebrate, which we will talk more about later. And then it hit me. It hit me that what I'm offering you, my listener, and all my clients and the members of my community Rising Free is an alternative divorce. It is a joyful one that is peaceful and empowering, and one that also creates a pathway for you to rediscover yourself in a beautiful and real way. Is that something you think you'd like? It's not about being perfect, because no one is. And it's not about fighting for your rights. Your lawyer will do that for you. I think we spend too much time emphasizing the fight and the battle. And if you keep thinking about it, then that is what you're going to get. Instead, it's about finding the blessing. It's about finding the love for yourself and others. And by blessing, by the way, I mean that light that's ahead for you, that one that's shining up ahead saying, hey, there's a life here that you used to dream about or that you're starting to dream about, and it's available to you. It's one of the blessings. This journey is also about leaning into a more conscious and meaningful life experience for yourself. Ultimately, it's about loving life and all that this human experience brings into our awareness. So what does it mean to live in a more conscious and meaningful way? It means just being more tuned into your own feelings and your own experiences, tuned into what your voice is telling you that you want to do, tuned into your courage, your passions, and that makes it a more meaningful life experience for you. There is so much fighting in this world today, and the situation that you're currently in, if you're going through a divorce, that might be a theme of your life right now too. We fight over causes, for political views and opinions and being right or wrong. We fight for lots of worthwhile reasons, but I'm finding it increasingly difficult to join the fight and would rather join the movement towards sort of love and peace. And I know, I sound like a Miss World pageant right now. All I want is love and peace. And I'm not trying to sound flip or blasé about what is involved in healing from a traumatic event like divorce. I just really want to somehow get through to you to say that this doesn't have to be horrible the whole time. This doesn't have to be a big fight, and that there is a loving way to do this. And by loving, I mean being loving towards yourself, not, lying down and letting someone walk all over you. All right. So just let's be very clear about that. I believe in standing up for yourself. I believe in showing up in a big way. And I believe in making sure you get what you're entitled to. That absolutely. But we cannot live in this constant state of fight or flight, this constant state of high conflict, of fear. It destroys us. It wears us down, and it ruins any joy for life. And it robs you of a healing, the healing that you're looking for. So since I am not on the world stage as Miss World, and I'm not asking for peace and love for everyone, though I kind of am, but instead of trying to impact the world, which is a platform that I don't have at this time, it is my goal to impact you. Because I know that if I can impact you, and if I can turn that switch on for you, the one that says, yeah, I can feel happy. I'm ready to invite that in and allow that in despite what's going on in my life, then that joy and happiness and peace that starts to exist within you will also get transferred on to the people that you're around, the people you work with, the people you see every day, your kids, your family, your friends. It's incredible how contagious a good feeling is. It's actually just as contagious as a bad feeling. When you're around people who are really negative and they just talk about negative things and all they ever do is complain, and then you feel negative, like you just feel the heaviness of that emotion, that energy in you. Just like when you're around positive people, you feel that positive energy and it lifts you. You like to be around positive people. Well, if you can become a more positive person, and I say that way because I know you're going through a lot, but if you can be part of that that energy that's moving up, that positive energy, that joyful energy, then if you're impacting that, you're actually impacting the world. Is that not incredible? And I think that's an amazing thing to jump onto, an incredibly worthwhile thing to do. And it makes saying yes to feeling happy, in my opinion, easier than if we're just thinking of it as, well, isn't that selfish for me to just focus on my happiness? Your happiness, my friend, affects everybody you touch. So get on with it, because we're all waiting for you to start feeling better and to embrace joy and allow yourself to heal and start seeing the blessings that are coming your way. There are a few things a person goes through in their personal life that has a higher level of conflict and stress than divorce. And usually in a way that feels completely out of our control. And that's very much because we're dealing with someone else who we cannot control. We cannot control the other person's choices, decisions, their behavior, anything like that. If they want to fight and they want conflict, and that is going to spill onto us, but we don't have to accept it. We don't have to allow it to wash over us all the time. We can see it coming, we can feel it coming, and we can stop it. We can do our best to cleanse ourselves of that spill, okay? We can choose to not engage in that way. We can choose to not be part of the negative flow and rather choose to step up to a more positive one. And this is your choice. It really is. If you choose to fight back, that's fine, but accept that that's the choice that you make. They are not making you do that. They might be trying to get you to do that. They might be trying to manipulate you, but they actually can't force you to choose to fight with them. Today, I'm asking you to choose a different or an alternative divorce, one that feels okay. Not because you wanted this divorce or because you love getting divorced. Of course you don't. Instead, choose to do this in a way that feels loving and peaceful. Choose to do it because it is the loving way to do it for yourself. It's loving towards yourself and peaceful for everyone else involved. You will always sleep better making this choice, and you will heal better and you will heal faster. And yes, I know this because of my own personal experience and my own journey, and through the work that I do that inspires women to make choices in the same way or in a similar way. It is the alternative, joyful divorce. Imagine this. You're heartbroken because your marriage is over. It doesn't matter why. It really doesn't matter. It's over and you're hurting. Your heart is broken. You feel angry and traumatized, and for good reason probably. You've been treated unfairly or even like really, really badly. Maybe you've been betrayed. You didn't ask for this, but here you are. And now what? Choose an alternative approach. Choose to be happy. Say to yourself that you want to make yourself happy. Say it. I want to make myself happy. And I can choose that, and I choose that right now. Everything you're going to do and every decision that you're going to make is going to be with one goal: to feel happier and to bring peace into your life. Revenge doesn't do this. Getting even can feel satisfying in the moment, but it does not make you happy, and it doesn't make you sleep well, I can tell you that. I did not fight my ex in court, even though he is narcissistic and he tried everything to engage in intimidation and bullying and all of those things. Instead, I chose to learn about my rights. I gained the knowledge necessary to understand what my needs were financially, with regards to my children, and emotionally. And I chose to do what I needed to do, which in my case was pay a lawyer to fight for those things for me. You don't divorce a narcissist without there being conflict, but I didn't want to get into it. So I didn't. I learned what my rights were. I decided what I was going to what my line in the sand was, and I put it forward. And I let my lawyer do the back and forth. I didn't get involved. I didn't spend my days agonizing over why he did this to me or why he wouldn't be kind and generous with me, for example. I wasn't interested in that. I just wanted to make it right, and I wanted to ultimately make it go away. I also chose to not be angry when he behaved like an ass. I chose to not engage in angry and demeaning text messaging. The only thing that would really get to me was every now and then when he treated the children really badly. That was much harder to stay calm through. So I would call my bestie. I would rant and rave to her until I worked all that stuff out of my body and out of my system. And then I could make decisions calmly and from a place of common sense and peace and love and all the things that I wanted in my life, and also from a place of what was in the best interest of the boys, not just me, not just to be opposite of him, but to actually make a decision that just simply made sense regardless of who was going to be happy because of it. I also chose to be selfish in that I became relentless in my pursuit of peace and harmony in my life. My measuring stick was my sleep. I never made hasty decisions, and I never sent an emotional text, especially not in the evening. In fact, I generally chose no contact, and I always knew that I was making the right decisions or that I was on the right path if I went to bed with this question in my mind and I woke up in the morning with the answer and I'd slept well. That was my measuring stick. Did I cry at times? Of course I did. Was I upset? Was I sad? Did I feel lost at times? Of course. This is a huge transition. It's a little bit messy in the middle. You go back and forth a bit, 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, right? So sure, I cried at times and I felt deeply saddened that our family was so broken. And then I wiped my tears and got a hug from my friends and asked myself how I could help my children feel safe and loved, as well as myself, by the way. I learned how to do all of this by getting to know myself, by learning to trust my intuition and my inner wisdom, by learning to listen to my questions as I asked myself and my body and I listened and I waited for the answer, and I did not act or make a decision or send an email to my lawyer until I was ready and until I was sure. And I flourished, and I loved life, and I loved myself. I could see that this alternative and optional way to handle things was exactly what my hurting heart and my soul needed. It was the loving approach that my body was asking for, and I was thriving, and I still am. And I want this for you, of course. I look back at my divorce and I still feel sad to this day that my boys had to go through all this. And I feel sad that they still have to deal with two families, but it's the way it is. And they're fine and they're thriving as well. For them, I wish it hadn't become so, but I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for all the opportunities that life has offered me as a result of this divorce. The people that I've met, the work choices and career choices that I've made as a result of it that I would never have made, all the new things that I chose to learn because of this, and now all the work that I'm doing inside the Separation Club, this podcast, the courses I offer, the retreats I run, all of this, none of it would be happening if it wasn't for my divorce. And there are 11,000 women in my Facebook group, and there are hundreds that I have been able to touch through my courses and retreats that I know I've impacted their healing. And so, yes, this truly is a blessing in divorce, right? So how can you do this? You might be thinking, okay, Elizabeth, I hear that you did it, but I can't. Well, yes, you can. How can you do it? How can you choose a more joyful or an alternate divorce, or the other divorce, the happy kind, right? How can you do that? Well, I feel like three things have to happen. That to me is really the basic, starting point. Three things have to happen. Number one, you have to learn who you are. And number two, you have to learn to love yourself. And number three, learn to connect with and listen to your inner wisdom. So, number one, learn who you are. That means knowing what you care about, what your values are, what your belief system is. It means knowing what's good and bad, like what you like about yourself and want to keep, and the things you want to change. And it means also knowing where you'd like to go, who you'd like to be, this reaching for a new self-image and a higher self. And number two, learn to love yourself. Well, that's a beautiful journey. It's about being able to look at what you do and how you live your life and yourself in the mirror in the morning and say, yeah, I do love you. You're a great person. You try your best. You smile like crazy. You work hard, and I love you for it. I love you for how much you love your kids. I love you for how much you embrace the healing journey. You start doing work like this, my friend, I can promise you that the love for yourself will automatically come. The act of learning these things about yourself is an act of self-love. It just naturally follows. So you might be saying, I don't know how to love myself. Start doing things that help you learn who you are, and then you will learn to love yourself. And then you really, in this journey as well, number three, you learn to truly connect with and listen to your inner wisdom. Because when you know who you are, and you love yourself, and you hear your heart and soul saying, whoa, that's not right for you, this is a better choice, or you're saying, oh, let's go for that opportunity, that sounds incredible, I'm scared half to death, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's listening to your inner wisdom, and that is also an act of self-love. That's showing yourself that you trust yourself, that you know you have the wisdom. We all have it. We all have it. You know how many times clients tell me, I'm just not intuitive like you, Elizabeth. I just don't hear the answers like you do. That's because you're not listening. Everybody has the same ability to tune into that part of themselves. And I can tell you, your inner wisdom will never guide you wrong. If you're tuned in, if you're kind of awakened and conscious and aware and mindful of the things that are happening in your body, because your body will always tell you the truth, if you are paying attention and you follow the guidance of your body and of what your heart is telling you, you will never go wrong. You will always choose best for yourself. 3 years ago, long after my divorce, I was going through a lot of emotional pain. It was a personal thing that I was going through for entirely different reasons, but I found myself reminding myself that here too, in this particular circumstance, I could choose an alternate experience for myself. I embarked on another healing journey, completely different from the one I'd been on before, but using the tools that I had learned. It was the learning that I got from this journey was even greater. It touched, I started where I had stopped last time, and I just added to the learning and added to the wisdom that I was able to get from this experience. Do I love going through pain and love having my heart hurt? No, of course not. But if I can look back and say, that was a really tough time in my life, but I learned some incredibly valuable lessons, then I'm like, okay, that's okay. And you know what? I get to share them with you, which is so beautiful for me. I knew so much more. And this time I was awakened to a more spiritual experience. You can call it God or source or the universe or higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it. I had discovered the incredible love we have access to when we tune into our bodies fully and align our experience with our physical bodies and the natural cycle that happens all around us all the time. For me, it meant tuning into the 7 chakras of my body that are in my body, these energy centers that tell you so much about what's going on. And I learned about myself in a whole new way. At the time, I will be honest with you, I was a little nervous sharing it with my clients, and I didn't. I just kept learning for myself, and I took an energy healing certification. I took breathwork certifications. I learned about tarot. I learned about meditation. I did all of these things in the background. I learned, I healed, I learned more, I healed more. And then I just kept learning. I just kept learning and growing as a human and also as a coach. And I started introducing it to my clients. And do they ever love it? I was, like I said, so nervous about it. And it was actually September 2 years ago that I introduced it to my clients for the first time. It was one of my goals in New Beginnings that year. And I couldn't tell you how grateful I am that they just embraced it. They learn and they thrive, and they send me beautiful pictures of the moon, of any water that they visit. And they join me for mindful and spiritual retreats in Canada and Costa Rica and soon in Italy. So we want you to join our sisterhood. It's truly a village of love and support and community and friendship. It's a place where it can be, where you're allowed to feel easy and good, and because you know that that's what you deserve. You're also allowed to feel heavy and have those days where we lift you because you can't. So how would you like to join me on a journey towards the alternative divorce, towards the joyful divorce, one where you are in charge, one where you are making the best choices for yourself, one where your heart can heal in a way that you know is lasting and real, one where you can show up as the mom, friend, sister, daughter that you want to be and that you were always meant to be. I am taking that journey with a small group, by the way, of women, because this is intimate work. And we are starting on September 27th, and I will be taking this small group of women, including you, through the alternative divorce. I'll be teaching you to connect with your inner wisdom and to find the answers that you seek. I'll be showing you how to heal your heart in a way that feels, dare I say it, easy. I will be laying down the blueprint for you to journey towards a loving and peaceful life created by you, inspired by you and your dreams, fueled by your spirit and all that you deserve. This is all available to you right now. We get started September 27th, and we will meet via Zoom every week at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. All the details are on the website, and all the calls are recorded. So if you miss something, you actually won't miss a thing. And you might be thinking, 4 p.m. Eastern Time? I can't do that. I'm at work, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. You know what? You can. It's once a week. Make arrangements. Talk to your boss. Tell them you're going through this crap and you need that hour. Maybe you just go into a meeting room and you work an extra hour. Maybe you work through lunch. You can do it. You will figure it out. And if you can't, you listen to the recording. There will also be other pre-recorded videos for you to enjoy on the days that we aren't meeting. There will be a community place for all of you to meet and chat and ask questions, and I will answer questions in there. And then there will be an abundance of other resources like meditations and chakra balancing and card readings and breath work and so on. And you'll have lifetime access. So that's, going on and on. What's important here, and this is where we're getting to the part that I promised in the beginning, is that this amazing experience is available to you starting in just a few weeks. And I know you want to go on it, and I want to make it possible for you. And I want to make it part of this amazing celebration that we're having in the occasion of the 1 year anniversary of this podcast and my birthday this week. So I'm offering an incredibly massive discount on the course. Basically, you're getting 30% off. I'm going to give you $250 off starting today, Wednesday, September 6th of this podcast, until end of day on my birthday, which is September 8th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. At that point, the discount code expires and you will not be able to get that off. This is your chance to jump into something that will truly change the whole trajectory of your divorce. This is your chance to say, I want to be happy now. I don't want to wait until the divorce is over. I don't want to wait until I've figured everything out. I don't want to wait until my legal battle is over. I don't want to go to bed worried sick every single night, feeling like crap, feeling unhappy, crying all the time, lying awake all night. I want to start feeling good right now. I want to start creating a life for myself that I deserve. I want abundance. I want to feel safe financially, emotionally, physically. I want to start creating that for myself now. I want to start making choices right now. And you know what your first choice is? Yes, you do. It is jumping into the alternative divorce experience that I'm starting on September 27th. The discount code, the birthday code is going to be in the show notes below. And it is literally, the birthday code is my birthday 8, because my birthday's on the 8th. Super fancy birthday code. But it's in the show notes as well as the link to go and buy this experience, this journey, this course, this time that we're going to have together. I cannot wait to go on this journey with you. This will change your life, just like every course I've done before. Freedom to Rise, the separation course, all of the courses that I've taught have been transformational for the women who took it. And here is a new experience answering, my higher call in serving you. And I can't wait to do it with you. And by the way, I have more giveaways, but I can't just load you up with everything today because it gets overwhelming. So I'm going to come back on my birthday with a special once in a lifetime. I don't know if that's right, but anyway, I'm going to come back with a special birthday episode, and we're going to have some more celebrations and partying to celebrate this week on A Blessing in Divorce. So as I'm leaving here today, I am so looking forward to watching all of you roll into this course. It's going to be an incredible experience. And if you have any questions, again, you can contact me. Everything is below. But I want to see you in that course. Let's do this together. Let's go on this journey together. Let's turn this experience into a blessing in divorce for you as well. Yes, I'm loving the play on words today, but I feel like I get to do that on this anniversary. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a listener here on the show, for sharing it with your friends, for taking the time to email me when you enjoy an episode or to send suggestions when you don't. I appreciate every time I hear from you, and I'm so grateful that so many of you send me emails. So I love to hear from you. Thank you. I would love it even more if you'd leave a review, some stars, send me some love, subscribe, share it with a friend, all of those things. And by the way, doing those things are going to get you some gifts on Friday. So make sure to tune into the episode on Friday when I have some major giveaways for you. Wishing you the most beautiful rest of the day, and I will chat with you again in a couple of days. Until next time, have a beautiful day.